Alright, welcome to 2019 and back to the studio. Let's see what has changed this year. Still got the big huge screen, and starting off on the left with my rack. Still the same stuff, SR, Yamaha FM, the EX8000. Nothing really new over last time there. The Waldorf Wave, what is that? The version 2 of the microwave. JD990, some memory cards, Akai SG01V. So it's got some vintage synth sounds in there, and it's pretty interesting for a little ROM-based, sample-based system. Audio interface inputs, the MIDI MQ100, that's still working. Not a whole lot is changed here except for some extra inputs and some extra expansion in power, but essentially the same as last time. Over here, good old Kiwi patch editor, MIDI Verb 1, and I don't think I showed this before, but some of the audio inputs, just summing mixers to get it into other audio devices, since there's so many. There's like 70 of these things in here. Digitech RDS 2001, MIDI Verb 3, the Roland digital delay. Well, under the desk, so there's a drum brute. I still can't say that. Adrenaline, Moger LFO. It's useful for doing input LFOs on synths. Drum Brute actually sounds pretty good, but you got to find a place to put all this junk. And I think this time, anyway, it's a good place to put effects. I still got more effects down there. This little Red Witch, MXR, and more power delivery. There's so much power that's got to, so many cables have to be routed around. Uno, Big Knob. Sorry about the stabilization on this. It seemed to have lost original footage. It's kind of trippy, though, if you agree. And the good old Jupiter-8, still here, still working, still scary. The Quadra still works fine. Good old Pro 1. That's new. The Pro 1's new. This came broken. I fixed it. Totally working fine. Great mono synth. Amazing, actually. Having a Prophet-5 and a Pro 1 is useful since they both have different setups. CS30 with sequencer, good old VS still around, and good old Prophet-5 with SSM. Rev 2 from 79 has MIDI. CS70M still working fine. Boy, the stabilization is really, really trippy, so hopefully it doesn't make you sick. Memory Moog Plus, Maxi Korg DV800. Custom Poly 6 with the Poly 6 and the Kiwi Technics, and a custom chassis. Way too much money into a stupid Poly 6, but hey, what can you do? This is a second Poly 61 that came broken. Has a custom wood chassis from a cool guy selling them on eBay. I have two of these, both fixed. I love them. Great synths. Monopoly below. I added MIDI to this. Works perfectly fine. Amazing custom wood chassis on that as well. Chroma Polaris. Wow. Don't you love those snap zooms? I do. So, that was my Trident with MIDI. So, something new over here. I don't think I had the ANX1 before. And I've got the little laces behind it. But this is an SX240. And I obviously had one of these before, but this is a new one because this one's nicer. And this one's got the Tontec chip in it. It's pretty cool. My LinnDrum, you didn't see this before because it was not in here. Octave Cat SRM. This is new. And a lot of work went into fixing that. And good old Multivox Pulsar again. That's still the same, maybe cleaned up a little bit. My Moog source and my Mini Moog Model D with the reissue. Now, classic, amazing, both of them. reissue. Obviously, Behringer has their Model D now. That's much cheaper, but you know, the feeling of that one is still amazing. OBSX 6 voice, in between an OBX and an OBXA, and it has the MIDI, which makes it gives you all the parameters opened up. Amazing little synth. It's small, much smaller than like an OB8 or an OBXA, but it packs the same sound punch, a little bit different. Had this before, Poly Ensemble S. Great stringer, KPR 77, a good little Korg drum machine. You don't really see too often. My SK30 Yamaha stringer, so kind of rare now. Not worth a whole ton, but I would never get rid of it just because it's fun. So they're cool, and this isn't going anywhere. So we have this is new, Akai AX60. Not really classic. Some people hate them, some people love them. I think it's pretty neat and different. Aggressive filter that you don't really get on anything else as a sampler input. No one has one of these really in the US, but it's a Solton Project 100. So it's a 6-voice analog synth. Has, I believe it's SSM. I should know this, but it's DCO. Incredible construction. It's all aluminum, like a Jupiter-8, built like a Jupiter-8, but it's an Italian synth. So it really blows your mind that that much durability went into something like that. But it sounds really cool. It's rare and probably a horrible pain if it stops working. So not looking forward to that. CZ1, classic Yamaha table hooter noisemaker thing. Broken DK80. Good old Juno Alpha 2. And that DK80 was really bugging me. I tried to fix it. I got another DK80 right there. Just have 2 broken DK80s now. So thanks, Seal. That build quality is absolutely monstrously horrible. Drum machines and a micro Korg, BeatStep Pro. Nothing really too new there. I don't think that you didn't see before. Yamaha CS01. Definitely didn't have that before. Fixed it. Broken keys. A lot of fun. Kiwi 8P. GX8P with some extended functionality. Pro 2 is gone, and this is a Juno 60 that I traded, replaced it with. It's, I have a Juno 6 too, so mostly I just have a problem here, but this one looks brand new. That's the original particle board wood, so it's pretty amazing that it actually looks that good. And and I love this. It's a Teisco 110F. So monosynth. It's sort of like an Odyssey, but not. I love the Teisco. So probably my favorite mono right there. And going up to its big brother, the SX400. I fixed the memory since the last time you saw this. So the custom presets work. Not a whole lot of fun to do that, but it works 100%. Battery's fixed 100%, and hopefully good for another 30 plus years. Hopefully longer than I live, or not. I don't know. I love that thing. You don't see those often either. It's like a different Jupiter 4. I think that pretty much covers everything in this room. So what I'll show you is going into Overflow. There's a lot of synths in here, but most of them can be run at the same time. I think I can run around 20 at once, and that's at least a third of them, or maybe less now. But hey, give me a break. You can, when you layer that many together, it's not like you really need more. So that's the main studio, and we'll take a look at what we have in what I'd call Overflow. So these are the these show that I have a problem. But we have some more out here. So let's start with, oh boy, there's a whole lot of these things. So they're just all over the place, as you can see. I get most of these broken, so it's not like they're all new and everything and fresh. So we have the Junior 106 Murray No, it's not Murray. It's Synthspa Guy. Synthspa Guy made a few of these in Arctic White. Lights up with blue lights. It's awesome. Obviously, I love this thing. Would never get rid of it, and there probably won't be any more of these made. But this is an Arctic Juno 106. Korg reissue of the Odyssey. Not a whole lot to say about that. It's good though. HT700 and MS-20 Mini. Below that, I have my Matrix 6 that's had some serious work. Has my little fake keypad that I made to put on top of the panel. Well, I need to print a new panel for that. Hopefully someone else does. GX3P Kiwi version. Had that before. Did not have this before. CS15D, 2-voice Yamaha analog synth. It's like else. I could say awesome again. You're probably sick of hearing that. And below that, the little Honer table hooter thing, VX600. Yes, so the ultra rare Akai, horrible to program, cool sound, cool size. It looks better than dealing with programming. It does sound really cool though, and you can get a lot of stuff that you can't get on other synths, but not sure I'd recommend that unless you just have to have them all. You've got to catch them all like me. Yeah, this is the PSK 120 or anyway, whatever. It's Casio rebranded Honer. They're just Honer, whatever you call it. They're rare in the US. Little 460. My original Poly 61 with the customized controls, so filter is controllable on the left-hand side with one hand. Really love that thing. Didn't have this. This is an SH3A, so classic Roland monosynth. JP8000, definitely new, probably one of the latest ones I've gotten. And my second of 3 Quadras. This has all the other parts that should work. 50% of it works. Keyboard, strings, poly, lead and bass have issues, and so does the phase shifter. But as you can see, has a new panel. Looks 8 or 9-ish, or I'd say 8 is being generous. But anyway, I love my Quadras, as you know. Super GX10. Oh, that's the little Korg controller. Not a whole lot to say about that. It has the custom firmware. My second DW6000. So this one's been retro-brighted. It's really hard to tell. They're kind of looking a little bit yellow again, but that's the first one I really retro-brighted, and it came out near 100% perfect. But I don't know. It might be turning a little yellow again, but anyway, that's DW. They don't really hold up too well being shipped, so you're lucky to find one in that state. My second SX240, it's also retro-brighted. Actually looks really pretty good. 100% functional. Love the sound of these. One of my absolute favorites, like I say, like everything else. And we come to the absolute beast. That's the DSS-1. So basically an EX8000 with a sampling. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. Except they made it the size of a house. It really is. It's huge. I think it's wider than a Jupiter-8. Big lug of plastic. SQ80 and my Poly 800 too. I think that's new. I would think so. I'm a fan of the Poly 800 too. I don't care what other people say. I mean, whatever makes the most interesting sounds, and the 802 is really, really dirty. So yes, there's even more. HT6000, I've had this for a few years, so it works perfectly fine. A pain to keep memory in. A DX7 MK1, I think I had this before, but maybe I didn't. It basically looks new. D50, and I have some cards for it. It's absolutely 100% mint. Dealing with this thing, Kawai SX210. I love this, like my 240s, but this one, it came with battery damage, and I don't know if I'll be able to fix this myself. I might need to get someone else to help, but it's in bad shape. It looks good, bad shape. Same thing with Prophet 2000, not a huge, well, I mean, it's supposed to come working, it didn't work, needs to be fixed. Yeah, AX80. This is definitely new. I like the Akais. Obviously I think I have them all now. So AX80 is cool. A little bit of that surface, not discoloration, but anyway, it's a great synth. And finally in this room, the Behringer DeepMind 12. So way too many synths overall. I don't know how I messed up the focus here. It's on the anamorphic, so only one left. So finally we come to my Prophet T8. Obviously this is new. It's had some work. It's amazing poly aftertouch. It does not fit in either of the rooms, and I use this quite often outside of it. Basically, I guess when you run out of room everywhere else, then the living room is where you go with the T8. So this thing's massive, huge, really nice access to work on, but big fan of the poly aftertouch and the key bed on this. Just absolutely 100% amazing. That, I guess, is a good spot to wrap this up. I hope that was somewhat enjoyable, and hopefully it doesn't get worse the next time you see this.